This is Reynhard Sinaga as he wanted the world to see him. His social media accounts full of grinning photos of a student having fun. But Sinaga has many faces, and behind the mask lies the truth. A depraved monster, said by prosecutors to be one of the most prolific rapists in the world.
The total number of offences that we've prosecuted is almost 160, over 48 victims. As far as the judicial process, probably anywhere in the world is concerned, he's probably the most prolific rapist that's come through the courts.
In the world?
I would say in the world, certainly in the British courts.
Night after night, Sinaga would leave his Manchester flat to go and find victims. He took advantage of living in the city centre amongst the nightclubs and bars, and he made the streets outside them his hunting ground. Sinaga would often wait for drunk men to come stumbling out of this nightclub and then entice them around the corner to his flat, which is just next door. He'd offer them somewhere to have a drink or phone a taxi. And on one occasion, it took him just 60 seconds to pick up a victim. Nearly 200 mostly heterosexual men made this journey, disappearing inside Sinaga's apartment block. Then they'd be offered drinks spiked with a drug like GHB, and that was the last they'd remember. Unconscious, the men were raped on this grubby mattress on the floor. When they woke up, they had no memory of what had happened. Sinaga would text his friends, boasting of sexual conquests. They thought he was joking when he quoted song lyrics about using a secret potion of which one drop should be enough. But in fact, the drug wore off early on one man who woke up whilst being raped. He fought back, and when the police were called, they seized Sinaga's phone. They couldn't believe what they saw on it. The rapist had filmed each of his attacks. They found hundreds of hours of video.
This is an absolutely unprecedented case. Looking at that amount of evidence is challenging in itself. That's equivalent to 1,500 DVD films. We believe there's over 190 victims that have been involved with Sinaga, with Reynhard Sinaga, and 70 of them are still to be identified approximately.
The men who were traced were given support at this centre in Manchester, helped to cope with the trauma of being told they were the victims of rapes they can't remember.
Some men found it very difficult to process. Some men have suffered with their mental health to the point where some men have been suicidal.
How is it possible that someone could be assaulted like this and not know?
You may have had alcohol, you may have had a drug, and you may have been sexually assaulted, but there may not have been any physical injuries to see. And if you haven't got any physical injuries, then you may not even suspect that you've been sexually assaulted.
Reynhard Sinaga has shown no remorse. The judge remarked that he seemed to be enjoying being sentenced in court. He came to the UK from Indonesia on a student visa and is said to have applied for permanent residency. But his victims have said they hope he never leaves prison and rots in hell. He prowled the streets for years before he was caught. He's never explained his crimes. The rapist, considered a mystery as well as a monster.